Hey guys, my name is Atlas, and thank you so much for coming to my channel. This week we are back in the pond with our favourite ducks. My very good friend Joe has listened to our pleas, listened to our cries of affection, and he has decided to give us not one, but 2 whole chapters of Where the Ducks Go, his magnum opus. If you weren't around for chapter 1, let's just do a very quick recap. So, we meet Miguel. He's chubby, anxious, and excitable. We met his mother, Esther. She's very much a mum. Lots of scoffing. Atlas wears an awesome shirt and messes up all the names. There's an interlude. We meet the wisecracking fish. And, well, maybe just watch the video. It's pretty good. Check it out. Okay, we're all caught up. Let's get cracking. Miguel, once again, will be down in this corner. Hello, Miguel. Good. And whomever he's speaking to will be down there. Sound good? Okay, let's get stuck in. Where the Ducks Go. Chapter 2. If anyone didn't catch my whispered French, that is French for 2. The chapter is called Miguel, Who Has Wings. The sinister-looking tree hangs over the pond with its black bark, gnarled roots, and spiky limbs. In the warmer months, the ancient poplar tree is covered in thick, heart-shaped leaves, apart from one naked branch, the sturdy branch. Miguel took his post, the sturdy branch of the sinister-looking tree. Night duty, the task bestowed upon him at his own wattle-on by the flock's elders, the 4 feathers. What a beautiful specimen, so broad-breasted and brazen. Watch as he woos the crowd with charm and cheek, and that streak of blue in his wings. The autumn sky would envy such a blue. Spectacular, spectacular. He should be orator, they said of Esteban Camus, Miguel's oldest friend. Esteban. Remember him? He'll give a wonderful evening sermon. And what about her? She swans around the crowd with grace and mystery. She courts envy and responds with wit. And that posture, she will be chief elder one day with such posture, they said, of Simone Derrida, Miguel's closest friend. And what about the little fat one with the crazy feet? Night duty, of course, they said, of Miguel. He remembered their vacant smiles as they imposed on him his detestable life's work. A tedious task that requires he keep watch for predators prowling while the flock sleeps. What predators? He once asked Gustavo Zambrano, one of the flock's affable elders. I swear Joe just writes these names so that he can watch me trip up on them. Gustavo Zambrano, one of the flock's affable elders. A devious fox, of course, Gustavo responded with a smouldering grin. What's the difference between a devious fox and a regular fox? They say the devious fox lurks in the night. Who's they? To bewitch young ducks. Why not all ducks? And lure them into the shadows. What shadows? Underneath the grove of sycamore. What? You ask too many questions, Miguel. Only the blind ask questions. They cannot see the answers right in front of their face. Miguel never saw the answers, nor did he see a devious fox lurking beneath the sycamore tree, though he did befriend a charming one on his first night on the job. What shape beareth the moon tonight, young duck? I cannot tell, Mr. Fox. She's hidden behind the clouds. Pray it could return for me, would you? Will do, Mr. Fox. Please, call me Gian Paolo. The moon is hidden again this evening. Miguel perched. He carried the day's demons into the night and tried to quieten them. Quieten them? Why is that so hard to say? And tried to quieten them with calming contemplations. He noticed he did not cast any shadow, and wondered where shadows go at night. A rustling coming from Esteban's nest disturbed his thoughts. He rolled his eyes as irritating memories of the day took over, like Esteban's evening sermon. Miguel once asked his friend if his sermons have any logic to them. Miguel, baby, if my sermons were logical, they wouldn't inspire, Esteban responded, with one keen eye on the females floating by. It just sounds so mindless, Miguel responded. Miguel, mindlessness is the key to happiness. Don't ask where the accent's from. I'm just going to roll with it. Esteban's sermons encapsulated the mentality of life in the flock. Confident nonsense. He struts his hour upon the rocks, performing to the pond. Every duck, moorhen, fish, and frog watches in awe. Another beautiful day in paradise. Ducks have never been this lucky. Life has never been this good. We are all successful and at peak. Successful, peaking ducks. Ducks in the past have fought for this freedom, while ducks in the future will long for it. There has never been such truth in the duck, and such happiness in the heart. We must soak up this world we are given and welcome this pond today. The sunshine. The crowd wooed and cooed. The water. The crowd ribbited and rude. The bread. I love bread, cried an aroused moorhen. Yes, we all love bread, aroused moorhen. He knows my name, the aroused moorhen wailed hysterically. It's quite hard to be this expressive when whispering. Anyway, the aroused moorhen, what a character. Esteban continued, oh good. We must live and swim freely and in line with the others, but freely. And above all, thank ye, stars. He gestured towards the sky. And ye, bringer of stars, he gestured towards a passing squirrel. Where is my place? And ye, bringer of stars, he gestured towards a passing squirrel. For this is the time for ducks. The passing squirrel froze. Yes, we are the time for ducks. Esteban finished with raised wings. The passing squirrel raised an acorn above his head, and the crowd erupted. The phrase, "We are the time for ducks," became the new slogan. Miguel meandered along the sturdy branch. He looked at his family's curated nest, with every twig, stick, rock, and pick perfectly aligned. He shuddered at the humiliating thought of his mum passionately crying, "We are the time for ducks." In unison with the others, he ruminated on their earlier conversation. "I'm not doing it tonight, Mum. I'm not doing night duty. I'm leaving." "Oh, not this again. No, I'm serious. This place is outrageous." "You're so dramatic, Miguel." She flailed her wings about in a huff. "After all my sacrifice, this is how you repay me. You will tend to your duties and be proud of them. We are the time for ducks." Miguel rolled his eyes. "Please don't say that. Esteban is just quacking nonsense, Mum. He's quacking truths, son. Hard, inspirational truths." She flustered and dusted. Miguel was blustered. "I'm just so tired of it all, Mum." "Scoff," she scoffed. "I am tired, Miguel. I am tired of this day, and I am tired of this discussion. Go to your post." And there, the chubby duck perched. He looked at the clouds and wondered whether he'll be anything more than just a waddling shadow. "Evening, young duck." A melodic voice broke his absorbed state. "Oh, good evening, Gianpaolo." Miguel turned to the striking pooch. "I didn't notice you there." Gianpaolo took his place next to Miguel on the sturdy branch. "The sky isn't the only one on the brink of tears tonight, I see." The fox smiled coolly, with his emerald eyes glistening in the darkness. "Well spotted, Gianpaolo." Miguel's voice cracked. "Well spotted. Pray tell your woes, Miguel. The moon is not here to judge." "Oh, it's nothing, Gianpaolo. There's just somewhere else I'd rather be." "Miguel, have you ever been where you've wanted to be?" "Tonight's different though, Gianpaolo. Did you hear Esteban's evening sermon?" "We are the time for ducks?" The fox grinned, cheekily poking his tongue out. "The whole place is just insane." "What do you want to do tonight, Miguel? Where do you want to go?" "Well, if I could do anything, if I could go anywhere, I'd fly to the stars and ask them about my father." "Your father?" "My father was hit by a car. That's how he died. But I don't know why he was crossing the road. I know it's probably quack, like everything the flock says, but I've been told that those we've lost become stars. And tonight, more than ever, I just want to fly to them and ask, why did he cross the road that night? What was on his mind? What was it all about?" Miguel looked hopefully at the ominous clouds. "The stars are everything to the flock. It's always bothered me that we have these wings and we don't use them to confront the stars we adore so much." The complicated duck and the charming fox watched over the shadowless flock. The heavy clouds threatened to detonate at any moment. "Well, what if you just fly? Fly through the clouds and to the stars. Just give them a good talking to. He may be there. You can return at sunrise. No one will know you've left your post." "I've thought about doing that 1,000 times, Gianpaolo. Perhaps... no. Perhaps what?" Well, what if I looked after the flock? I don't mind. Gianpaolo lost the melody in his voice and arched his bushy brows. Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, I trust you, but this is different. Miguel, we've been friends for a long time. Most ducks in your position would have cried fox by now. We've spoken. We've listened. We've shared woes. I wouldn't do anything to betray that. Gianpaolo turned to the sky. And if I could, I would fly. I would fly to the moon every night. And our two lonely souls would come together and just be. Gianpaolo sighed. Just fly, Miguel. By moon's honor, I'll look after this place for you. Gianpaolo placed his right paw over his chest and smiled with transfixing sincerity. Right paw. Transfixing sincerity. Miguel tapped the tips of his wings together and contemplated. The clouds were very close, suggesting the stars lay just beyond them. And Gianpaolo had proven to be nothing but a lovely and loyal friend to Miguel. Well, the clouds are low, and so too are the stars. I trust you. I can just go and return before sunrise. I'll be here. Gianpaolo smiled with eternal reassurance. Thank you, Gianpaolo. They shared a nod. Miguel leapt into the air. A raindrop hit his face. Okay, that is chapter 2. Moving swiftly along to chapter 3. Goats are not ducks is the name of chapter 3. Okay. Miguel flapped his little wings with all the might in his muster, and all the muster in his might. He entered the clouds, the doorsteps to the stars. He thought about being able to see his father again, how his father would call to him, and how they would kiss, and how his father would weep, just as any father would. Hello, Miguel. You have come to see me, and now such a strapping young duck. And how brave you are flying to the stars to master your dreams. Come, let us talk of important things, of cabbages, etc. And he would place a comforting wing around Miguel's shoulders, which ducks most certainly have. Miguel hugged his body to hold the blissful moment. What is a moment, Simone? He once asked. I said moment so weirdly then. Moment. Let's try that again. What is a moment, Simone? He once asked his elegant friend. She was long and thin and kind. She stood above the crowd, but never talked down to it. A moment? Yeah. It's not really time, but it represents time passing. What is it? Crack. A vicious thunderbolt jolted Miguel from his revelry. The rumbling clouds engulfed him. He flew this way, and that way, and this, searching frantically for an opening. His exit was met with thrashing rain, so tremendous he could not see the pond. His little wings pelted and panged, flapped painfully to carry his flabby body to what he felt was north. We fly south when it's cold and north when it's warm, Gustavo once told him. Why? Miguel asked. We follow the fish. The fish? The fish. What fish? cried a wisecracking fish, leaping from the water. Let's try that again. What fish? cried a wisecracking fish, leaping from the water. Crowd favourite from episode 1, chapter 1. Miguel fled the storm. His wings, battered and bruised, felt heavy and useless. He perched on a large rock to rest, and his body drooped in exhaustion. His eyes darted to make sense of his ups and downs. The setting was patchily lit. He could see gates and fences and windows and concrete and grass and shrubs and sand and ice. Human craft bizarrely clumped together with natural habitats. The large rock rested against a wide fence on one side and overlooked a black abyss on the other. He waddled towards the black edge and peered down. Only darkness beneath him. Darkness and clanking. And now clocking and clinking. Footsteps. Large, clinking footsteps. What say you, young goat? A deep voice grumbled from the shadows. Ah, Miguel jumped. What say you on an evening such as this? Speak only truth. The voice bellowed, a thick, forgotten brogue. Miguel's little body trembled wildly. What say you? I say nothing. Miguel backed away from the edge. You say nothing? The voice grew. The clanking grew. On an evening where the richness of the earth is threatened by the jealous clouds, you must have words. Miguel ummed and ahed and trembled. Speak clearly and with vigor. Miguel flinched. I don't understand. I'm just tired and scared. Silence. Empty silence. Miguel's heart raced. He huffed and he puffed and felt ragged and roughed, still reeling from his flight to the stars. A mangled-looking creature poked its head out from the underside of the rock. Are you using that rock? It gestured its large horns towards Miguel's feet. Pardon? Are you using that rock? The one I'm perched on? The very same rock, young goat. The very same. Speak clearly, should you have nobility, and with vigor. Please, I'm so sorry for the voice. It's what it is. Yes, I suppose, but then we shall fight. The creature leapt onto the surface and launched its enormous lanky body towards Miguel. Miguel shot upwards and evaded its charge. Miguel's wings were too tired to lift his stout body, and he sank to the rock surface. The gangly beast crashed into the wide fence. It flipped and flopped around before locking its gaze onto the little duck lying face up with his wings splayed. Did you just fly? Yes. The beast turned to the darkness. Lord Jones, there's a duck here. I'm not Jones. On my rock. I'm not Jones. Damn it, where's Jones? It turned back to Miguel. So, if you're a duck, what are you doing here? This is no place for a duck. This is not a pond. Do you think this is a pond? No. This is not a pond. I know. Miguel pulled himself up, slowly, grunting. I just needed somewhere to rest from the storm. I've lost sight of my pond. A duck without a pond waddles from the blackness to rest his tired wings on my rock. I should think not, Duck. This is a ruse, if ever I saw one. Jones is up to his mythical mischief again. That Jones with his black heart. Well, not on this night, young soldier. Not on this night. There's a lot of exclamations in here. Please forgive me for not exclaiming them too loudly. It wouldn't be very ASMR-y. Just pretend that I'm screaming like a goat. Not on this night. The goat lunged forwards and unleashed its great tongue on the rock surface. It sucked and sipped and slipped and slapped. Oh, glorious rocks! It slopped. Why, we thank ye for thy plentiful salt. It slobbered, and its abundant richness. Miguel stood there, beak agape. He was uncomfortable, yet intrigued by the zealous affair. The goat flung itself up and exhaled. Be still, my heart. It breathed in. For has love never been this true? It breathed out. And salty. Miguel was confused. I'm confused. What is your name, Duck? Miguel. Yours? My name is Lord Belvedere Hoppleplop. I'm one of the many goats that grace these great lands that are the mountain goat plains. Lord Belvedere jested proudly with a dangling bony leg. And this is my rock. I'm still confused. And what brings you here, Duck Miguel? Who sent you? I told you I'm lost. Was it Jones? That saline swindling swine? No. No one has sent me. Why are you lost then? Speak clearly. Well, and with vigour. Miguel jumped. I had an argument with my mum, and I got angry, so I flew away. An argument? Yes. Over a rock? Not exactly. Over the new refurbished climbing frame? No. We just argued over some stupid thing. What stupid thing? Nothing. It's fine. Miguel slumped. He could hardly think straight. Your reputation depends on it, Duck. The old goat pestered him. There is no nobility in silence. Well, fine. Begrudgingly, Miguel described the waddle-on process. The young ducks played to the elders in the hope that they get a task worth their wings. I was hoping to become a healer, but the night of my own waddle-on, I just couldn't waddle. I just stood there, looking. I was looking for my father. Just before it started, he said he had to go somewhere, but that he'd make the waddle-on. He never made it, though. He never made it? Well, he said to me, I'll be back in a moment. Miguel's voice cracked, but the moment never ended, and I never saw him again. Lord Belvedere bowed his head in sympathy. I'm sorry, Duck Miguel. The elders didn't understand. They just thought I didn't like moving much because I was chubby, and I have oddly shaped feet, see? Miguel gestured to his feet. Indeed. So they gave me night duty, where you just perch and look and don't do much else. So I didn't go to the waddle-on, and my mother was angry about that. Lord Belvedere nodded. And then, upon that, you challenged your mother and charged, beating her with your powerful horns before flying here to celebrate your victory with some glorious salt. No. A noble duck, indeed. No, we argued and I got really angry and I flew away. I was aiming for the stars, but the storm caught me and threw me here. He waddled over to the dark side of the rock. Tearful, he fiddled with the tips of his wings. It just doesn't feel right. I mean, sometimes it's fine. The night duty, the nonsense. But I just... Miguel grunted in frustration. I mean, do you ever not feel like a goat? Lord Belvedere nodded. No. And everyone just sits back and smiles and talks about how happy they are. We are the time for ducks. We are the time for ducks. He imitated Esteban, raising his wings. And when I try to point out the crazy, all anyone can say is, it's in the stars. Lord Belvedere clanked his way towards the little duck. Together, they looked at the starless sky. I have consulted the stars, Miguel, and found only cheap cosmic sparkles, free of any real sense and sodium. Cheap cosmic sparkles? Yes, rebel diamond cut from the sun. I'm not sure I understand. Lord Belvedere sighed. I have not spoken about these mysteries for many years. None of the kids speak to me. They all just think I'm some silly old goat who doesn't know anything about the new world, with its new fancy truths and its new fancy refurbished climbing frames. Oh, I consult the rocks, as I always have done so. I have found nothing but answers in the rocks, delicious, salty answers. I see. Miguel, I am basically blind, and I could use an extra eye or two. If you do not feel like a duck, you could always stay with me and try being a goat. I can teach you. Lord Belvedere smiled hopefully. A decayed, ugly smile. How do I be a goat? Do I just lick the salt? Miguel lowered his beak to the rock. You climb rocks too, Miguel. You climb, and you find a rock with wondrous salt. And if a goat has claimed the rock, you ask them to speak, with vigor. And if they do not speak, they are not noble. And if they are not noble, you challenge them. And then beat them with your horns and hooves, or simply ask again because they may not have heard. Oh. Yes, and then when you reach the top, you lick the salt. There is always salt. Lord Belvedere looked to the sky and sniffed through his gooey nostrils. Unless it rains, of course. I don't have horns and hooves, Miguel's stomach grumbled, and I don't eat salt. I'm not very good at climbing because my feet are inverted, and I'm a bit bigger than the others, so I can't waddle and stuff. But I'm real good at asking questions. Do you ask questions? I've not asked questions for a long time, Miguel. Okay. Miguel slumped. But you can fly, Miguel. If your mind takes you to questions, your wings can take you to answers. They sat and admired the bizarre setting. The clouds grumbled above. I cannot fly, but if I could, I would fly to the meerkats. The meerkats? Yes, the meerkats. They are small, like you, and have an acceptance for the strange. I've spent days talking to them and learning from them. Where are they? Just there. Meerkat Manor. The goat nodded to a small fenced area next to the mountain goat's plains. Okay, why would you go there? A meerkat would never be called crazy or silly for thinking or saying something different. That sounds wonderful. The young duck smiled. They will be awake and yapping away like the clouds. Miguel considered the moment with Lord Belvedere. He turned his new old friend. I probably was supposed to say two there. He turned to his new old friend. Thank you, Lord Belvedere. You're an odd duck, Miguel, and it's an odd world. The thunder moaned. You should go before the storm. Thank you so much. And with a nod and a smile and a deep breath, Miguel headed for Meerkat Manor. End of chapter 3. What did we think of that? Please let me know down below. And I'm hoping that Joe will let us finish the rest of the book. I say the rest of the book. I don't actually know how long the book is, but I think it's only a few more chapters. So let's get them. Great fun. Okay. Thank you so much for reading that with me. And I really hope that you are somewhat relaxed or having something of a good time. Please, if you liked it, tell your mates, subscribe, like, comment down below. I'm on the various social medias as Atlas_ASMR. And yeah, hope you are all well and happy. And see you again next week. Cheers.